So paint. All right, so now we've mudded and taped. It looks fantastic. This is where you start getting excited, right? You're seeing now the shape of the house. This is what it's going to look like, particularly if you've modified the layout. You know, like Darren and Kate do, they modify the entire layout. It looks phenomenal. Now we're going to start hanging walls and start seeing, is our vision going to pay off? Did we move the kitchen? Does it make sense now to move it over here? You can have the same company mud, tape, and paint. I do. That's fine. I don't have the same guys mud, tape, and paint. Okay? That's a critical distinction to make. I have no problem with the same company doing all the above. And the reason why I like that is because they can't come back. Contractors love to complain about the other contractors, right? They love it. It's always the other guy's fault. It's never their fault. Always, no matter what it is, they'll blame something on the electrician, even though I've never had an electrician there. It happens all the time. But if you have the same mudder and taper as painter, it's the same company. Who are you going to complain to, right? That's how things get fixed. So that's why I do like to use the same company to mud, tape, and paint, just not the same guys in there.
I just want to make one comment about order. You're on mud, tape, and paint. Don't make the mistake, and don't let your contractors make the mistake of beginning to finish too soon. Guys love to feel like, oh, we're making progress.
In the essence of time, right. They're trying to...
Oh, yeah. We got the living room painted, but then you find out you had instructed that they move this switch over here, and we're going to put some candles. Oh, well, we're not done yet. We're going to take that apart and do that again. Now they're going to charge you to paint again and open up a wall that they just finished. And don't let guys get all excited that, oh, it's looking great. We got it all painted.
Yeah.
That happens in the right order. Do things in the right order. Be patient. Do things in the right order.
And the prep work is the most important, and that takes the,
Yes.
it takes the most time. I mean, actually painting the wall is, the simplest, shortest amount of time. So if they're anxious to get the paint on the walls because they don't want to do the hard work of getting the walls straight and getting the things properly done.
Yeah, prep is the most important. I mean, painting is not that challenging to do, like I said before, but the prep work, getting those walls, fixing any curves, something that's come up, fixing those walls. But painters want full run of the house. They do not want to be stepping over a plumber while they're trying to paint. They don't want to. They like to be by themselves or with their crew. They play their awesome music, and they just paint.
Don't let your painters paint in a dirty house. If you got guys who are ready to start painting when there's dust all over the place and junk, you have the wrong painter.
That's the prep work. I mean, part of the prep work is making sure the walls are wiped down. You just sanded an entire wall, right? There's dust all over that wall. They need to go over that wall first before they paint. Make sure they do that, or you're just painting over dust. That's not going to look so good. So, again, painters want their free reign of the house, leave them alone, close the door, lock them in. My last house that I did, our assisted living facility that Josh was talking about, our painters were there for 2 weeks. My partner actually, my painters came from like 45 minutes away. We brought in a mobile home and they lived there for 2 weeks. I kid you not. And we fed them there, and like they just didn't want to go home. They were working from like 8 to 10 at night, so we brought in a mobile home and that's where they lived. I mean, not really what I wanted to do, but that's what we did for them. They just painted. So, all right, so paint, we talked about that. Make sure you're painting your doors in the garage. If you can spray something, spray it. It looks so much better than rolling something on. But paint your trim that way if you can spray it all. Particularly if you're doing all new drywall, spray everything if you can. It just looks so much better than rolling it. Mark, 1,500 square foot house is going to run you about $3,000, $3,500, right?
Right. Yeah, it depends, like you said, about the size of the house and how much time they take. But on average, this is a good number to go by.
Get a contract at Sherwin-Williams or wherever it may be. Just because you're not a contractor does not mean you cannot have a contractor's account. You can get one. I have a contractor's account at Home Depot, Lowe's. At Lowe's, I save 15 to 20% off on anything that I buy. I'm not a contractor. I go in there. They know my name. I go to the contractor's desk. They basically take their price of what they pay for it and mark it up by a little bit. I don't care what the price of the item is. They just look at what do they pay for it. I save a ton of money, between 15 and 25% on everything that I buy. So get a contractor's account. Know those guys at Home Depot and Lowe's, because you go there enough, I'm there enough. I live literally like a mile away, so it helps me all the time. I got a $100 gift card over Christmas from them just because I'm a good customer of theirs. Those guys bend over backwards for me to try to get things done to save me a ton of money. I have friends that I buy appliances for all the time. I just did that last week because I'm like, yeah, I'll get you a discount. I saved them like $100 off the sale price on it. So get an account, Sherwin-Williams, get an account there. You'll save a ton of money as well too. Paint's expensive. I mean, you could spend, there's like $120 gallon paints now, that are with diamonds and things. And
talk about paint quality.
Paint quality is big. I mean, I didn't used to think paint mattered. Like, it's paint. Who cares, right? How hard can this be? It's paint. And paintbrushes matter too. That's the thing. There are better paintbrushes. I've learned that painting my own house. But yeah, you don't want to buy cheap paint. If your guy says, oh, we use, Glidden, if there's any Glidden representatives in here. Yeah, we get it at wherever. It's $12 a gallon. You don't want that. You want some reputable paint company, a Benjamin Moore, a Sherwin-Williams, a somebody. They each have like 15 lines of paint. Promar, Mark?
200. We use a Promar 200.
Promar 200.
You get it for like $20 a gallon.
That's the standard paint you guys should be using. It's good quality paint. It's how much a gallon?
I get it for like $19
$19 a gallon, but it's normally like 38 a gallon or something. It's still pretty. It's good paint, but yeah, get it for a discount. It's like $19 a gallon. Promar 200. It's a great paint. You guys should be using that all the time for painting your house. So don't use cheap paint.